This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, and especially at the moment, I do hope you're well. Now, you may remember that last week I did a video called Deal Breakers, the things that really turn me off a guitar and just make me lose interest in it straight away. And, well, anyway, to prove that, like a battery, I also have a positive side, I thought I'd do the opposing view this week. The things that I love about certain guitars, what it is that attracts me to a guitar in the first place. There are 5 things on this list, and let's start off with
my favourite pickup tone.
Okay, let's talk about the noise that the guitar makes, the tones indeed. Now then, some of my favourite guitar tones come from the likes of this fella. Took me a while to get into him, but I got there in the end. This lad, and not forgetting this chap. Now, what kind of tone do these guys all have in common? That's right, the sound of a neck single coil pickup. Now, I'm not fussy about whether it's a Strat pickup in the neck position, a Telecaster pickup in the neck position, or even a P90. They all have that wonderful kind of, how would you describe it, juicy tone. It's juicier than a basket full of blackberries, I think. And I can't think of a single situation, a single musical genre where that sound doesn't work. You can put it into, a ballsy Texas Blues 12-bar and it works beautifully. And equally, you can put it into a big, fat, progressive rock anthem and it sounds just as at home there. It's a fantastic tone, and I suppose if I had to choose between a neck single coil and a neck humbucker, and I do think you do have to choose really, because, if you have a humbucker and you switch it into single coil mode, it never quite sounds the same, does it? So if you have to choose, then the neck pickup on my ideal guitar will always be a single coil, because I just love that tone. Next.
A simple lad needs a simple guitar.
Okay, I guess another thing which really appeals to me in a guitar is versatility. The ability to cover a wide range of sounds. And many guitar manufacturers accomplish this by giving you, kind of every switching option under the sun, a plethora, a multitude of options that you can switch between. The pickup can be a humbucker, or it can be a single coil, and it can be in phase and it can be out of phase, and, depending upon where you hit this push-pull pot or that one, and then maybe there's like a second switch that does other things as well. I gotta tell you, with that kind of option anxiety, I'm going to get lost faster than a drunk in a blizzard. I much prefer something where there's a minimum amount of controls and fuss, but you can use those controls effectively. Just the merest little flick of the little finger down towards the control area can completely change the tone that you're getting. A bit like this. And that, for me, is the true genius of any guitar design, where you've got a minimum amount of controls, but you can do a lot with them. That is what I really like in a versatile guitar. Next.
Let's talk about the neck.
Okay, the neck and how it feels. I mentioned last week that I don't have a lot of time for, or a great love for, the vintage Fender radius of 7.25 inches, the fretboard radius. I like a nice flat fretboard radius, and Beyond that, I don't really have a lot of stipulations. You know, you've got various different shapes of neck, a V-shaped neck, a D, a C, a modern C, etc. Give me a guitar for half an hour and let me get acclimatised to it, and I'm perfectly happy with pretty much any neck profile. I do like 22 frets at least. I think that's my ideal number, actually. 24 frets, I start to get a little bit discombobulated and lost in the upper regions. I'm sort of used to 22 fret necks. 21 fret necks, I just feel limited by not having the ability to go up to that full second octave by bending the 22nd fret up to another E note on the high E string. So that feels comfortable for me. In terms of playability and action, I like a low action. I gotta tell you, I do. The lower the better. There are people who prefer a higher action because it's just part and parcel of how they play, and you know it supposedly gives a better tone. I can see the physics of that. I can see how giving the string more room to vibrate will potentially get more sustained, but in my experience, just the limitations that having the high action puts on you far outweigh the benefits that may come along with it. I don't really consider myself to be a fast or shreddy player in the grand scheme of things, but occasionally I do like to throw in the odd little bit of something like this. And as you can see, for me, when I want to scare the dog, seriously, he hates that kind of guitar sound. He will leave the room. So when I want to create those kind of noises that the dog hates, I tend to do it, as you saw there, with like legato or maybe tapping or something like that. And, you know, a nice, low, slick, buttery action is massively important for being able to do that. If you like a high action, then good luck to you. But I love a low action and a flat fretboard and 22 frets. Beyond that, I'm not really that fussed about what's going on with the neck. Next.
The body shape.
Right, well, the body. Now, this is strange how your tastes can change over a period of years. For many, many years, about 20 years, I was a dyed-in-the-wool Strataholic. If it wasn't a Stratocaster or Stratocaster-shaped, it wasn't really a proper guitar. That was the pinnacle of guitar evolution, as it were. And then one day, I just had a weird notion. I thought, I'm going to play a Telecaster. And I got myself a Telecaster, and suddenly I found it much more comfortable. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a Telecaster be more comfortable than a Strat? A Strat has all of the curves and contours, and it moulds itself to your body. A Telecaster's got all of the ergonomics of a chopping board, so how can that possibly be more comfortable? Well, it's all to do with this upper bout here. Okay, when I'm playing, my forearm tends to rest itself there. Okay, you know, if you take a look at my big fat bingo wing arms, they tend to kind of just, or tends to sit there on that part of the guitar, and I'm anchored, and I've got like a solid foundation from which to play, and I can strum, I can pick, I can do whatever I want to do. And that sort of 90-degree edge there, that 90-degree corner, kind of gives me a ledge to sit on while I'm playing. Whereas that sort of chamfer that you get on a Strat, it continually starts to feel increasingly, whenever I play a Strat these days, like I'm sliding down a slope all the time and having to correct for that. And I find that a bit off-putting. Beyond that, in terms of the body shape, well, I think it's no secret that I like Telecasters, and I like Telecaster body shapes, and I suppose this is close enough in you know, kind of broad terms to being a Telecaster. It's a flat body, single cutaway kind of thing. It's not obvious. It's obviously more like a Les Paul kind of shape, but you know, a Telecaster, or you know, anything that's one of the classic guitar designs, apart from Jazzmasters. as I mentioned last week. But, Strats, Telecasters, anything like that. But anything that gives me that kind of ledge to sit on there is always going to be my preference. And as far as missing the contour around the back, the rib cage contour or the tummy cut or whatever, well, frankly, look at me. I've got enough padding in that region to more than compensate for any hard edges on the guitar, so that's not really a problem for me. So that's what I like about the body shape of my favourite types of guitar. Next.
How the guitar resonates.
Yes, indeed. Now, before a whole bunch of angry people with the caps lock key depressed start typing away furiously to call me an idiot, as though they're telling me something I don't already know, I'm not making any value judgments here about the whole tone wood kind of debate, Does the timber that an electric guitar is made from affect the amplified tonal properties of that guitar? Some say yes, some say no. I have my own thoughts on the matter, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just saying I like a resonant guitar. If I pick up a guitar and do a big thrangy open chord on it, and I can feel the whole guitar kind of shimmer a little bit and resonate in sympathy with that chord, then I really, really like that. It's just, it's a visceral thing. It just appeals to me. It makes every note feel just that little bit more alive and vibrant. And maybe it does add more sustain. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just a placebo thing. But as I say, whatever it is, I like it. And I like that kind of property in a guitar. Generally speaking, I find that fixed bridge guitars tend to be more likely to have this property, and generally speaking I find that the heavier the gauge of string, the more likely you are to get this property in a guitar, this attribute. Having said that, I've played some great guitars with tremolos and light gauge strings that have both kind of given me that kind of fizz that I like from a guitar in that manner. To be honest with you, if I had a guitar that was as resonant as that and had a simple control layout that was incredibly versatile, a classic body shape, a flat fingerboard, and a really, really low action, I'd be quite a happy chap. A little while ago when I said that, I don't want any more guitars, I've got every guitar I ever really think I'm ever going to need. I think this is a large part of that feeling, to be honest with you, the Gordon Smith. So there you go, folks. Those are my guitar loves. That is my idea of guitar heaven, to counterbalance last week's idea of all the things that I didn't really enjoy on certain guitars, the deal breakers, as it were. I hope you found this video useful in some way. I don't know which way you're going to find it useful, but maybe you found it a bit entertaining, and if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not give me a like while you're at it. If you're thinking about buying yourself a rather wonderful Fret Zealot tuition aid, then use the discount code that you can see on screen there and the purchase link in the description, and you'll get a little bit of money knocked off, thanks to yours truly. You're welcome. And with that, I'll take this opportunity to say a good day to all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Don't forget the live stream on Friday, 5 p.m. UK time, where we sit around and have a beer and a chat and a laugh, and it's great fun. It usually lasts about an hour. As I say, 5 p.m. Friday UK time. Great way to kick off the weekend. Hope to see some of you there. And with that, I'll leave you now, and thank you for watching, and say stay safe, stay well, and above all, stay sane. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye for now.